Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I'm Gianni Di Poce, your host. Happy Scorpio season. It's the first day of the the fixed sign of the season of fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. That would be the middle of the season of spring in the Southern Hemisphere. But it's a bit different compared to a regular seasonal ingress because we have a big outer planetary ingress today. Neptune is retrograding back into the sign of Pisces. And we're seeing, a bit of unease creep into markets today. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Take a look at the Dow Jones. The Dow did hit a new all-time high yesterday. Did so with a bit of a signal that upside momentum is waning, which could precede a bit more sideways action. Now, if you go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ 100, we did not make a new all-time high this week. And so that is a bit of a concern on the long side of this market that we could be due for an extended period of sideways action. We're kind of in a quiet period now from a geocosmic standpoint, aside from Neptune retrograding back into the sign of Pisces today. On Friday, we will have the Sun forming a square to Pluto, which could actually be a bit more potent than usual because of Pluto's rulership over Scorpio, and obviously the Sun being in the sign of Scorpio right now. Next Tuesday on the 28th, we will have a trine between Mars and Jupiter, but really it's not until the beginning of November that there is another slew of geocosmic activities. So we are off the lows of the day in stocks. Tesla has earnings today. And this is a really important stock to watch right now because out of all of the Magnificent Seven names, we've pretty much seen all of them hit new all-time highs this year. In fact, Apple just did so this week. It's getting some of those gains back today, but you take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA hit a new all-time high a couple of weeks ago. It's now chopping around, and it's really only Tesla that has not hit a new all-time high this year. The last all-time high that it formed was back in December. Now, you might look at this chart and say, oh, well, didn't we hit a new all-time high in October? Well, it's adjusted for dividends, so I prefer to consider it without. But either way, we are consolidating near the highs here. Uranus is going to be retrograding back into the sign of Taurus sometime in November. And so when we think of Tesla, rulership of, it's in the sign of Gemini. Gemini rules vehicles. Uranus boom bust cycle in the sign of Gemini. We have to be on very close watch here because if Tesla gets flushed and goes down hard here, it could bring some more volatility into stocks. We did see some of that unfold with Netflix yesterday dropping almost 10%. But in the vehicle space, you did have General Motors experience a big breakout to the upside earlier this week. So that's kind of what's going on in stockland. You take a look at bonds. I'm going to be watching this market very closely because of the Sun-Pluto square on Friday. Keep in mind that the Fed is going to be lowering interest rates next Wednesday, a week from today, at least a quarter of a basis point or a quarter of a percent, 25 basis points. And I wouldn't be looking for much more unless there's some big, tumult that comes between now and then. But bonds are doing what we expect. We were expecting for bonds to go higher. This is playing out accordingly. Let's jump over to gold and silver. Gold did recover quite a bit earlier today, but it looks like the correction has begun. We've been looking for this to happen. It's no surprise that gold is bouncing a little bit today under this Neptune signature. Gold does like Neptune, and we're seeing that good response. It is worth noting that the reversal that we saw on Friday did come when we had the Sun square Jupiter, and gold typically does not like Jupiter all that much. You see silver also bouncing off of the lows of the day here, but it would actually be pretty healthy from a technical standpoint to see gold and silver chop around and digest some of their impressive year-to-date gains. Take a look at crude oil. Nice bounce here. I'm not really expecting it to last all that much. Of course, Neptune's being highlighted right now, going back into the sign of Pisces. We're going to have Saturn and Neptune doing their dance in their conjunction over the next couple of months before they eventually go direct and back into the sign of Aries. So I still don't think the action's really taking place in energy at the moment. You take a look at the dollar, still some really interesting price action taking place here because we're seeing the dollar actually, well, it's been up this week, but you are seeing the euro bounce against the dollar today. Meanwhile, the Japanese yen has been weakening against the dollar. We do have the new prime minister over in Japan. Seems to be a return of Abenomics, which was basically an economic policy of currency devaluation. And so, could we actually see a situation where the dollar appreciates against the yen, depreciates against the euro? We should be ready for anything in this environment. And of course, I want to jump back over to cryptocurrencies here. Bitcoin flat on the day so far. We had that big reversal yesterday. I'm still watching cryptocurrencies overall as we have Venus in the sign of Libra right now, which tends to be uh, more often a positive for Ethereum. Really, the study shows a 20% or greater move in one direction or the other. We've not had that yet in Ethereum. My bias is to the upside, but I'm also not ruling out a final flush to the downside to really just get rid of all the week longs in this market. We had this big down day a couple of Fridays ago. You saw a lot of traders blowing up, and with Sun square Pluto coming this Friday, maybe another round of that is coming. Not exactly my bias, but again, in this volatile environment, we should be ready for anything to happen. So that's what I had for you to share today. Thank you so much for watching. We will be live again with MMTA this Saturday. The course is going extremely well. Vipka is doing an excellent job guiding the program. Ray is there to offer the commentary, the color commentary, and we have people like myself out in the background contributing in the chat. We also issued the monthly tech report earlier this week, authored by MMA analyst Vipka Held, and the Shanghai report went out earlier this week as well. So, really interesting stuff happening in China too. I definitely would continue to keep an eye in that market. You can see here we are off the lows of the day. A lot of traders got shaken out of the long side of the market in recent weeks, but I think it speaks to the recent volatility. Maybe will continue until Uranus gets back into the sign of Taurus. So that's what I had for today, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. See you same time, same place next week. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We have these weekly updates for you. All right, everyone. Take care now. Bye-bye.